everybody, it's LJ Simmer here, back with another speed build. This speed build, I tried to do something a little different, something that I usually don't normally mess with, but I see all this different stuff on YouTube and Facebook and everywhere where they do all these really cool water effects, and I just wanted to see if I could try to maybe do something like that. So as you saw, I kind of messed with the terrain leveling a little bit, and then I decided to use the pool tool and just kind of do a really as, I don't know, natural looking kind of wave throughout the back of the land, just to try to make it look more, I guess, like you would see in nature. So here I am, you can see me just putting a bunch of these different plants and rocks and different stuff. I sized up and down a bunch of different things to try to make it blend and try to get rid of that harsh edge of the pool, just to make it look more natural, make it look more like it's built into the landscape. Wasn't the easiest thing to do, and yes, it did take me a very long time to achieve it, but I think it really worked out. It looks super cool. It looks very natural to me. I could probably get better at it, but hey, for my first go, I think it wasn't super bad. So I'm really happy with it, actually. I'm just going to add in some trees, some landscaping. I think I moved these trees around like a bunch. So you'll probably see in the screenshots or during my build that I kind of moved some things around. I wanted it at first to kind of look more like it was like, you know, this really modern, really stylish like cabin in the woods. But then I kind of just thought, you know, it's more of just like a little creek running through, but I still wanted to have some of the trees there and have some stuff kind of, you know, blend in to just make it look like it's been there for a while and that it's really natural. So here I am just kind of filling around with the house. Like I said, I wanted it to look more kind of modern. I found a house on Pinterest that I really liked, and it was this exact shape. Had like the side porch and the front porch, and I just thought it was super pretty. And even in the picture they had it, you know, kind of nestled in a bunch of trees, and it's kind of where I got the idea for this build, just to kind of have it nestled in the background. And I think it turns out really good. I think it's super cute. I think it definitely looks like the house has been there for a while, but it definitely has a modern twist on it. And you're just gonna see me here placing more and more landscaping. There was a lot of landscaping in this build, and pretty much when I do that, I just kind of stick to, you know, 3 or 4 things that I really like. I don't make it super complicated, just because I feel like then you're dealing with too many colors. You have to put too many, you know, things down to make it look right. So I kind of just sized up and down everything to give it a little more dimension. But other than that, it's really just a couple, you know, I think it's all base game too, just different base game, you know, grasses and those lavender plants that I love so much, and just a couple other things, little flowers, you know, stuff that's super simple. And here I am just messing around with some terrain paint. Same thing. I love to do that just because it makes it, you know, gives it a little dimension, gives it a little contrast, so it makes it pop out a little more. Definitely wanted to do something cute with that front porch, but I couldn't figure it out then, so I kind of just left it. You'll see me mess around with the house a bunch of times. Took me a really, really long time to get it to look the way that I wanted it to look. And then here I am messing with the front porch again. Gonna put in some more landscaping. There is some debug different things that I do have in this build. So if you wanted to download it on the gallery, you definitely need to turn on all the cheats, have everything ready before you download it, because it's definitely a lot of move objects, and there is debug items. You'll see coming up that I did the pathway with some like debug stones and stuff, which I think looks super, super cute. But yeah, so definitely would have to have that on. And here I am going through the debug menu, which for me still takes a long time because I kind of just started messing around with it a little more. Didn't really use it too much before until I saw how many awesome things there are in there. I mean, it just opens up a gallery of a million new items that you can use. So definitely something to look into. Here's those little paver stones I thought were super cool that they just kind of, you know, look like you would have in your own garden. Little paver stones going up the walkways. And then I found this bridge in the debug menu, which I have seen before on a lot of other builds that I just loved, but never had something that I could actually use it for. So I thought that fit in. I think I just sized it down a little bit. And it looks super cute. It's not functionable or anything, like your Sims aren't going to walk across it, but I still just think it blended in with the landscaping super nicely. Here I am. I'm going to start going into doing the interior of the house. I didn't record doing the floor plan just because it probably took me a good hour to kind of figure out how I wanted it. And I still think I delete and move around a couple things. So it wasn't the easiest floor plan to figure out, but I definitely love the way that it turned out. It's a smaller home. I mean, you can maybe have 2 Sims living here, but, well, I mean, the upstairs is technically 2 bedrooms, but I did turn one of the bedrooms into this cool, like, artsy office space. But, I mean, potentially you could turn it into anything that you wanted. And here I am just putting some of the cabinets together. Once again, there's some debug items, all those little coffees and little, you know, season shakers that I have on the shelves. Those are all from the debug menu. So like I said, definitely something to look into when you're building houses, because it has a million items in there that you can use. Sometimes they snap to things, sometimes they don't, but it's definitely something to look into. Now I'm just I got the dining room done. I have the kitchen done. I was going to have a little half bath there, but it just was not working out with the floor plan. And now here I am just moving on into the laundry room. I think I've said this before that I really like to have laundry spaces in all of my games. I do a lot of gameplay myself, and I just think it definitely is more realistic, and it just adds to your gameplay. So I really enjoy doing that in my builds because I just think it really works. And then now I'm going to do just a little, kind of like a reading nook. Like I said, this house is super small, but it's very functional. I play tested everything. Everything functions really well. I didn't have an issue with many things. There's a couple things that I had an issue with, but you know, in the downloads and everything, that's all taken care of. So you won't have to worry about, you know, your Sims not being able to do something because everything is already taken care of. I wanted to use that huge TV just because I thought maybe the Sim that lived here was kind of like, you know, really into like art and movies and different kind of stuff like that, but I just wasn't loving the way that it looked. Moving on to the upstairs though, I think I do move some things around a little tiny bit. There is just one bathroom in this house, and that's what you're going to see me doing now. Same thing, I had to fiddle around with the floor plan a little bit because it just wasn't working how I wanted it to. But like I said, everything play tested, everything's functionable. I sized up and down those lights to try to kind of make it look like it was one light, and it actually turned out really cute. I'm really proud of that. I think it looks really nice. And then I'm just adding some lights in the hallways. I think I add some windows around. Like I said before, I usually add windows later in my builds. I just think it kind of makes more sense. That way you're not, you know, putting something big in front of one of your windows, because, you know, you wouldn't really do that in normal life anyway either. Moving on to the bedroom. Very simple bedroom. Just a couple clutter items. I did size down those nightstands. So I was trying to put some things on, but it wasn't snapping right. It wasn't working properly. So I think there's just a plant on one of them. And then here I am doing, I think I add a little bit more artwork around. And then here is that little art room office kind of area. I think it's super cute. I like the furniture in it. I like how I hung up those, they look like sketches, those artworks that look like, you know, like you ripped out a page of a sketchbook and just put them on the walls. So here's the screenshots, and I hope you guys enjoyed this speed build. Thanks again.
know.